fucking get it. Analyzing the market, knowing when to take profit, knowing when things are, when to place bigger bets, when to exit, when to be cautious, when to take profits. All of that I learned from looking at these. USDT dominance, total 3, and Bitcoin dominance. Whoa. Okay, looking nice. So, how I read these to tell the market sentiment or the overall the market. Let's move that here. Okay, we're hitting a support. So right now, this is when Bitcoin is pressing 120. So you know that's all-time high at the recording of this video. So Bitcoin's at a scary place, but at a bullish place, all-time high. But we want to know when we can expect Bitcoin to start reversing. And you look at dominance, and that also tells you why is it important to know when Bitcoin's about to reverse. When the market dumps, dominance will tell you that Bitcoin dominance, despite there being millions of coins, when the market dumps, Bitcoin doesn't move as much as alts. So Bitcoin becomes the dominant asset and it's still becoming dominant. That means alts, the market cap of alts is going down. People are selling, stop losses are getting hit, shitting the bed. All right? So that's when this goes up. But you can tell we're on major support, and that's alt season, even though this market has changed. That's why it's important to not just be a breakout trader, because that was 2021. That shit doesn't work anymore. It's important to be able to play shorts in a bull market or in an uptrend, because we have uptrends. Our bull market now is like days or hours. Our alt season doesn't last that long anymore. Maybe it will once this fucking tanks, but as of right now, the market, Bitcoin is dominated by institutions, so the dominance will stay pretty fucking steady. But to my example, if Bitcoin dominance hits a support, we're close to Bitcoin being the dominant asset. Because if it goes down, the alts are gaining market dominance, market share. So when it bounces, either the market's shitting the bed or lots of money's coming into Bitcoin. But usually, when money comes into Bitcoin, the alts follow as well, so it doesn't really fucking skyrocket. So that's one thing to know. If Bitcoin dominance hits a support, maybe there will be a dump, right? To get confluence with that, we look at total 3, which is the altcoin market cap. Fuck, I lost my moving averages. I gotta put them in again. Favorites, 1, 2, 3. I want to move this to the bottom. There. I want these to be the top. Oh, it's EMA. Fuck. Three. Just a bit of housekeeping. This doesn't really pertain to y'all. Back. So I like the 50 set today. You saw this. If you didn't watch my indicator video, watch it. You'll understand what I'm doing. This one is 100 today. Green. The last one, inputs 200 day style orange. Make it the fucking fattest one, or second fat. That's too big. So we've identified that and what Bitcoin dominance can tell us. Now we want to look at total 3. Ooh, that's looking juicy as fuck. So maybe we need to add 786. We're coming close to another rejection zone. So what does USDT dominance tell us? It tells us that when USDT, or fuck, this is total 3. What does total 3 tell us? The market cap of all altcoins. And you can see that we've broken a really big trend. The altcoin market cap. Let's look at the, to make less noise. Let's delete everything, remove 24 drawings here. Holy fuck, we're hitting that already. Wow, the alts are just flying. Anyways. So yeah, we broke that trend. Big downtrend. We know that alts are on the rip. Is it going up? Bitcoin dominance is going down. But we're hitting support on Bitcoin dominance, which means it's going to be the majority, you know, the dominance of Bitcoin is going to go up. And we're hitting resistance. So it means on total 3, it means that we won't 100%, but it's, the signs are telling us and we can't ignore the signs. So maybe it's a time to start taking profit or closing trades or start taking shorts, because dominance is at resistance or support. Altcoin market cap is at the resistance zone. Let's clean this up a bit. Take that off. 382. Well, maybe we'll keep the 382. This has lots of confluence. Again, confluence with all the moving averages on the 382. Strong support. If ever we come back there, I'm fucking unloading the whole clip. Everything. But I wish that we came down sooner just to confirm, because that's a good support level. The higher we go, the stronger supports for very high conviction are way lower. So if we hit those, it's going to be a big drop in market cap. But since we have this support here, market cap can reject off here, test there, then back up there. We want that retest for the altcoin market cap, because that's what will give you those big entries. So this in confluence with Bitcoin dominance tells us we're hitting a danger zone. Take profits, close positions, be careful, right? And if you look at the oscillators as well, we're bottomed out on the daily. What does that mean? It can start going up. Do we have any divergence yet? Not yet there. Signs of a reversal are coming on dominance. The oscillator works on dominance as well. So this oscillator, like I said, really accurate. So we can expect something like maybe a deviation to show, to get that divergence print, and then boom, this will hurt. This will make alts bleed, right? So if we bounce off this, we might not go this high, but this is a very strong level to reject off of. I'd love to reject off there, but that means everything's going to bleed. This is the 200-day moving average, and it lines up with 382 support. So that could be a big rejection zone, which will end up looking like this. The moving average will go there, reject off of this confluent zone, and I bet there's an order block. They don't really work with dominance, but it's worked sometimes more than it hasn't. So take it with a grain of salt. But it's telling us that Bitcoin wants or can be reversing within this area because we're getting these divergence prints. It's bottomed out, meaning the move to the down is pretty exhausted. So careful. That's already 2 points of confluence on 2 major macro charts, right? What does USDT dominance tell us? Same shit. Right? We have a strong level of confluence here. All the moving averages clump up there. So that's a good rejection zone. I'll turn them off just to clean up the chart a bit. What does this tell us? Support is down here in this zone. Again, it's deviating. It's a zone, reaction area. This is still on support, despite it doing this. It's on a support zone. Okay? So this is caution, man. All 3 of those are telling us, plus Bitcoin being at all-time high and showing us signs of weakness. See that? This is the daily. It's showing us lots of reversal signs. It can fucking pump really fucking high still. But take some profit. This is what it's telling us. Take some profit. Because we're also seeing what these two, Bitcoin dominance and total 3, are telling us. We're getting to danger zones. USDT dominance, like I showed you, is on support or getting to a really good support. And this is where we want to be buying, on rejections of dominance charts. Same thing. Dominance on USDT goes up when people are getting stopped out of positions. The market's bleeding. USDT is entering the market because people are either selling, de-risking, or stop losses are hitting. Thus, dominance of USDT going up. You can see we're on a clear downtrend. USDT is going into the market, but we're on support on multiple confluent levels. Trend, fib, price action. Oscillator is at the bottom on the daily, meaning it wants to go up. And it lines up with all those 2 other metrics. So here I'm taking profit on everything. Right? Even on the swing trade account I have, the big boy account I have, I'm taking profits. If I have swing trades open that was open for months or weeks, I'm taking profit on those. Absolutely 100%. Because I want to wait for here to buy back in. What is that telling us? Less USDT is floating around in the market. People are buying. People are getting confident. Once we get there, or reverse, once it goes up, people are de-risking. When it goes down, this is where I want to buy. It's going down. People are feeling riskier getting into the market. Less USDT floating around because people are opening up positions on exchanges, buying spot bags, whatever the fuck it is they want to do. But USDT is exiting. So reading all 3 of those together gives you a good idea of when to de-risk. I've called it a few times in Telegram and in Discord. If you're in any of those Discord channels that I'm in, I've called it a few times, multiple times, accurately, to know when to de-risk, because I looked at this chart and I say when to enter or when to start scaling and opening up bigger positions based on these 3 charts. All 3 of them tell you a story about when to be risky, when to de-risk, when a dump is coming, and it works. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance, and let's look at on the daily. When was this? Thursday, May 8th of 2025. Let's look at any altcoin, May 8th, 2025. Okay. I love Pop. May 8th, 2025. Go to May 8th. We saw USDT BTC dominance tank. What did the market do on that date? May. That can't be right. Well, it's 2024. Well, May. Popcat from here to there, 66%. Right? Any other coin? Let's look at Bomb. I'm biased to fucking shit. So let's go change the year to 2025. May 8th. It's this candle here, May 8th, right there. What did this do? Is bottomed out. May 8th, we got a 52% move. Right? That's how you can call these bottoms to know when to enter and be really confident in your entries. Combine that with what I showed you previously about, how I enter trades looking for levels. That really is super fucking powerful, right? Especially if this low, that was the high. We know that dominance, that's it, was the high. Now wait, we want to know, where was that bottom? Okay. What bar? Come on, bro. Why the fuck's it doing this? Exit. Replay. April. May 8th. All right. We've identified a top. We can see that we're on a good level. Right? And this is when I was talking about, you don't always need to look for divergence. But when I look at dominance and all those other metrics, I'm sure they all told the same story. I'm very sure the overall macro of the market is bullish. So we're on support. I'm going to dial down to see if I can nail an entry here. I still like the support. Again, you don't have to look for divergence all the time, but that's how you should start. Start with divergence. Where's that reversal print? Okay, we got one right here. Money's coming in. This is what we were left with on May 7th. 2 hour. What does the 2 hour show us? Divergence with the blue dot. Can we catch this trade in real time? Well, not really real time, but you know what I'm saying. Right? So I'm looking at the macro of the market. It's really fucking good. And this is when I would use the buffering strategy to catch this trade, or a really deep low leverage ladder in strategy. Let's look at what we're working with here. %. Stagger that into 3. Boom, boom, boom. Or if you really want to be conservative, you'd wait till it hits that trend line. what are we going to get with this? Let's say we hit, let's stagger our orders. So, 1. Oh, you know what? Let's put it here. No. I'm going to put it there because I'm overtly bullish right now. Right on the second order down there. Last order, degen, big position size, big buy amount right there. Let's see what we end up with. Just our starter position. But do we go back down? No, we just fucking take off from here. That's why it's really fucking powerful to look at those 3. Right? We wouldn't have got stopped out. We would have caught our entry. Well, we probably could have caught it earlier if we looked at the signs. Like I was saying, you can catch the signs earlier than the actual date. So for example, let's turn this off. Bitcoin dominance. We looked at that big drop on May 8th. Okay, May 8th. I don't need anything when I'm here. May 8th, here. We saw the divergence print. It wants to fucking come down. So I'm already zooming in to know when to get that entry on the altcoins. Boom, 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 boom. Lower, lower. This one's a little hard to catch. Here. So you can get bullish and then it still just fucking tanks. These don't always say anything, but in confluence with other things, like look at the money flow. It's, even though it's not money, it just shows the strength of whatever this is. If it's really high, if it's really red and it's up there, expect a really big decline. If this is green and this is showing this, expect this to go up. Right? So looking at those, for example, if I knew the move was coming, if I see this happening, let's go. I can't do that with dominance chart. But let's say we only saw this part here, or this part here, up to there. I'm going to start looking for hot zones using what I showed you on an altcoin. Let's say, I'm going back to Pop, my baby. Move Atrons. So I'm identifying, for example, let's say replay, select bar. Let's say we only had this to work with. We have a lot of information. We have it looks like a top. We have divergence already. Blue dot, reversal, overbought. There's that divergence. Higher high, lower high on the strength. So I'm going to mark that as my top. And take a macro, take a fibble, not really macro because we know that the chart goes way bigger, and start identifying areas. And I know that big move is coming, right? I know it's going to happen. I'm expecting it to happen based on what I just showed you. USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, total 3. They're telling me signs that altcoin push is going to happen. I want to catch that altcoin push. What levels am I going to identify? This, I'm not confident. I can expect maybe a scalp there, but I want the juicy levels. That and this. I don't think we'll have any moving average data because it's still new on this chart. Yeah, we don't have any moving average because let's say the moving averages ended up here. Like it told us that they all went like this and like that. And this zone we've identified as really fucking good. Let's check our VWAPs. Good VWAP in the low. I don't know if these wicks are good. I'm really cheesed about this fucking shit, not remembering my settings. Maybe this too. Yeah, they tell us the same thing. So I didn't have put the 50, but sometimes it works and it looks confluent. This whole area looks good. So I'm going to nibble here, see what sticks. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But I'm looking for, I'm nibbling in all these areas. So I have multiple ideas. I'm setting my alerts. One here. This is plan A. Plan B. Big stop losses, but I want to catch that move. And this is like still low market cap for where Popcoin was. Popcat. This is plan B. And I'll always leave these two on just so that I know that, hey, what was I planning on this chart when my alert went off? Well, yeah, I wanted to take a long here at that level. So I'm looking at that and I'm planning my trades. Sometimes I'll even set limit orders, but I'll only do that when things look really bullish. But if things are uncertain and I know that bearish news can come out, I won't do limit orders because it can just blow through it with bad news or like macro news or a Trump tweet or whatever it is, right? So I'm setting limit orders there if it's bullish. Let's say I am, so I have limit orders. And I'm trying to catch the juicer zone based on what I see on Bitcoin dominance. It's topping out. It's giving me the signals like I see this on Bitcoin dominance. You saw that long, let me show you again. Day, May 8th. What did total 3 look like on May 8th? April, May, June. There, see that? So what we had to work with at this point was just this high. Bounce off a 382 area and the 236. If it bounces off the 236, very bullish. If it bounces off and rejects, that's typical. The 236, I don't really put too much weight onto it. But if we want to really dial it in, we'll go from this low. May 8 was here. So you can see we are bouncing off of this zone, the 50. Reaction zone, right? They're all telling me the same thing. They're all wanting to react off of that. Despite it, being in the middle of nowhere, other signs like Bitcoin dominance on May 8 is showing me things are overcooked. That is overcooked. So I can, despite not having confluence with the indicator, I can zoom in total 3 on May 8th. 4 hour, go to the 8th, May 8th. Look, we got pretty bullish signs here, showing that it wants to reverse. We got lots of reversal prints, no divergence despite that being a higher high. Bearish hidden divergence. Bearish hidden divergence, that's where this came from. But after a move like that, expect something like, this. And we saw that sign there to take profits. This USDT dominance probably shows the same thing. Bitcoin dominance. Like I'm saying, all three of them put together, they will tell you a bigger story. They will tell you something. So back to Popcat. The daily replay. I'm so cheesed still. Whoops. Play. Plan A is up here. Default. Confluence. I like that zone. Let's check the 4 hour. Let's turn on our prime blocks. Look, this level, lots of confluence. Bullish order block, 618. You can see horizontally, it was respected a lot of times. Even though the VWAP's up there, let's try and find something better and more confident. This is not the best example, but it gives you an idea of an area, right? That's another potential bounce on. But the high conviction is down here. Very high conviction. Do we get it? Again, I'm nibbling here. It comes there. I'm starting a small position. My invalidation for this level will be a close below this here because that's a cluster. That's support. Let's keep going. Reaction, broke it. VWAP, respected it. Might have missed that entry. And at this point, that's all right. See, this is hard. Sometimes you'll miss trades, but you're not losing money. But the ones you get in, you might get stopped out, but you're only losing what you've accounted for, right? Am I confident this will be the up? I don't know. Whoops. Rejected, okay. So I'm still patient. Still have my limit orders. All right. There's that bearish retest. Every time you break a trend, if you want to exit, wait till it goes up. It always does. Unless, you know, it's fucking shit market. I was patient. We got this entry. Limit order hit. Are we stopped out? Not yet. Well, I got divergence though. What does the day show us? I don't want to go to the day yet because it might fucking spoil it. But, fuck it. Let's do it just to see if we're getting bullish signs. Yeah, we got bullish signs. The day doesn't have that much data. There goes the spoiler. Up from here. Oh. Rejected off of that. See? It'll visit it. Sometimes it's just a big deviation. Sometimes it's a rejection. But you can always expect it to retest it. And this is a very strong resistance level because we got the 382. We have the trend. We're above the VWAP. Let's try and put the VWAP at the high and see what it gives us. Yeah, rejection. What's happening next? Oh, there's that rejection. Rejected off the VWAP multiple times. Stopped out, but we have another entry down here. Caught the entry. Retest, maybe add here when it came down there. Let's go to the higher time frame just to speed things up a bit more. Again, I'm taking this trade because I saw on Bitcoin dominance and USDT dominance and total 3 that I'm getting good signs of an altcoin reversal or an altcoin pump. We're still in the trade. We're not stopped out yet because wick. There probably would have and should have taken profits, but now we have a trend to track. Right? Can even do this. That's going to be major resistance. We hit that. So stopped out, but I want to take this trade because I have conviction, man, that we're going to bounce. And this is where the big boy account comes in. But yeah, like I said, I have accounts that I would have taken profits on this, and I have an account that would have been stopped out. But they both would have had the same trade. I would have taken it here, boom, back to support. I would have even shorted this, all within the same account. But I'm taking small moves. I'm taking this, I'm taking that. You know, I'm taking this, I'm taking that. But in the grand scheme, on the day, you know, you're trying to catch something like this. You're trying to catch that, right? On the small time frame, what does that look like? Right? All this small stuff is just noise. So again, I really want to get into this trade. Bitcoin dominance and all that stuff is still telling me those signs that, yo, fucking altcoin, it's gonna pump, man. It's gonna happen. We're still on support. The daily chart, it's not gonna show us much on the oscillator. Oh, it's coming close to bottoming out. But we're not bottomed out yet. Again, a lot happens within this area. Right? So what do we do now? Let's move our VWAP back to the bottom. So this is going to be a nice area of resistance here. We're getting good bullish divergence printing, but is it ready yet? Not really, because money's exiting. We're in a downtrend. So okay, things are looking good. Money's coming in. We've hit a zone. Again, it doesn't always hit there, but it will react around it. And that's why you set alerts. Always front run the zone in case price front runs the zone, right? You want to put your alert somewhere higher, like there, not right on the line, because sure, it touches it sometimes, but sometimes it front runs it like there. It didn't exactly hit the line. Sometimes it does hit the line, but you want to, you know, put an alert saying, pay attention. And based on what you see on the oscillator, price, psychology of the market, the greed and fear index, what I showed you on Bitcoin dominance, you might even take the trade earlier before it hits the zone, because you can see it's starting to reverse. If you look here closely, you can see money is starting, the red is starting to go neutral. But is this the bounce zone? We have divergence printing on the 4 hour. Let's check the higher time frame. Oh, it's printing there as well. Let's check the 2 hour. Yeah. Looking divergent. Right? So you keep going. Are we going to get a divergent print? Yes, we're going to get a divergent print. Pretty sure. Well, yeah, technically we did. It hit the zone. All right. Money flow, neutral again, sharp bounce. Probably for sure have divergence print. No, despite that being low. But you get the idea. Always look for the reversal signs that you can catch early ahead of time. Again, this should have been in my indicator video, but if you watch all of them, you put it all together. Price will make a lower low, but the oscillator will make a lower high. A lower low, a higher low. Look at this. Its low is higher than this low, but this low is higher than that low. It should have printed a divergence print, but I'm not sure. Sometimes it doesn't do it, but you just have to be able to identify it. Fucking shit. Oh my gosh. Not my day, man. Invite. I hate the red. Inputs. Red to purple. Take off the true 7. Okay. We can see things are getting bullish. We bounce off a good zone. Money flows coming in. We're getting lots of reversal prints despite it not reversing yet. Oscillator, sharp turn upwards. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Is this our reversal? You want to track this trend. That's not a good one. There you go. You broke that trend.
I mean, like, from where? The zoo?
The bank, I think. He's got
Ooh.
a suit on.
Fake out.
Get rewarded with the BMO Eclipse Rise Visa card.
We're still bouncing off of that zone. It's respecting it. There's the move. See this zone? Backup plan A didn't work, but I set alerts. When these don't work, reevaluate. Like, shit, it didn't work. What are my plan A? What are my plan C? What are my plan F? You know? You have to have backup zones because sure, these are confluent levels. Look at this. Bounce, 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 bounce. I was confident that it should have bounced there, but it didn't. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. But what's your next level? The 786. It respected it, and that's where the rocket ship happened. Right? You're going to have to, multiple times, I get stopped out, but then I catch the trade. But my stop losses are small. Why? Because the biggest part of my buy is at the bottom. I'm not going down 7% full clip. I'm going down maybe 4% full clip, right? Because I'm staggering my orders. Those ones that got stopped out at this level and this level, I paid for those stop losses with this move and profit, right? Again, this showed signs well beforehand that the reversal was coming. The reversal happened here, but that's too late. I'm not confident in taking it here. Why? Because I want these fucking things to show me. You know, if this wasn't there, I wouldn't have taken that trade. Maybe I would have on the DGen account. See? That's why it's good to have those different accounts, because you can be a little riskier with some, and the high confluence ones, the high confidence conviction ones, you're waiting for all the signs to be there to take a big fucking bet, right? So the stop loss on this one, on this level, that's big, but when you stagger your orders, that 13% on 5x leverage, I probably would have taken this on 3x as well. That probably would have been 30% loss as opposed to 100% of what I wanted to. And when I say 100%, it's not 100% of all your money of what you wanted to put in. It's 100% of what you were willing to risk as a stop loss. Well, I put in $1,000, but I was willing to risk $300. Instead of losing all that 300, I lost maybe only, 220 or 180 of it. But I made it in this trade 200%. See what I'm saying? You're not going to always catch it the first time. But it's good to understand with a system that you have the options within your risk management to take them on multiple levels, given that you have high conviction on the USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and total 3, right? So that dictates your position sizing, your risk management, your leverage level, What else? I lost 2 and I won 1. See that? I lost 2 trades, but I won 1 trade and I made profit. You don't need to win everything. I showed you I have a 40% win rate, 38% overall on all my accounts, and I'm profitable. You don't need a lot of money, and you don't need to win everything. That's the thing. People want it. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the environment of the market has changed. 2021, everything pumped. You could be a breakout trader and still be successful. You won't get stopped out. This is a different market now. 2021, everything went up. Breakout trading worked. Now you need to have you need to be more advanced in this market environment. It's different. It is so different than it used to be. 2025 is different than 2021. 2025, you need to know how to short. You need to know how to read the charts, when to exit, when to whatever. But previously, you didn't need to know any of that. That's why there's that saying that when you win your first trade in a bull market, you think you're a genius and you figure it out. No, everything's fucking pumping. That doesn't happen anymore. So you need to be able to read metrics, read when things are about to reject, when Bitcoin dominance is at support, when Bitcoin's at an all-time high, where to take profits and stuff. I don't think I talked about the all-time high fib tool, but I'll talk about that in the wrap-up video, the everything video. But that's how I use USDT dominance, total 3, and Bitcoin dominance to know when to take profits on alts, identify reversals, when to go big on alts, on alt positions. It tells a story. Like, this is already telling me danger. USDT dominance is telling me danger. Total 3, danger. Come on. Like, if you're not taking profits here and you know all this, you're greedy, right? Bitcoin, all-time high. You can see that it's already rejecting. This could be the local top, to be the retest of the breakout. Very strong support level that needs to be retested. Bitcoin might go all the way to 150 before it retests. We don't know, but we know that it's going to retest higher. It's going to retest for sure, and the upside is limited. That's what the story is telling me with everything that I've looked. Overall macro analysis. That's what I do. That's what I look at every Monday when I'm planning my structure. So what I do, I look at the Bitcoin dominance, I look at whatever, and then I scan. I have a list of of coins that, hey, I heard about this on YouTube. I'm going to add it. Or a friend talked about this. I'm going to add it on my list. I saw it on X. I'm going to add it on my list. I don't always enter them, but when I see it, let's look at one, Syrup. I've been hearing a lot about Syrup lately. Remove 3 drawings. So this doesn't give us this much. This is a shit chart. So what this is telling me, first I'm gonna go to a better one. Solana is always easy. Holy shit, what are these? Move 20 drawings. So, okay, I do my overall market analysis on Mondays, right? Take my fib tool, mark out my major zones, macro. I don't want that there, delete. View up and add on. That was when I was in a Solana position. We've got our macro levels. We can see I'm not going to be longing Solana here because we're at a macro resistance, but I want to get into Solana. Okay. So this looks okay. And I'm identifying this zone as this looks good. What am I? Oh yeah, that's juicy right there. So I already see that this is a good buy zone. Long position. I'm gonna remember that's why I set the alert there. Stop loss. That's too big. I won't set limit orders here, but I'll set my alert. Wait, let's check out some VWAPs actually. Anchored VWAP. This low. Oh my gosh. I hate that thing, man. Let's tell us from this low. Okay, that's kind of useful. So this cluster here, it could bounce around in there. What does a VWAP from here tell us? There you go. We got our confluence from this low. Again, confluence from a macro high and macro low, those are the best ones. But you can still, like I said, lower band, upper band. We already have two levels of confluence here. Macro, fib, and this trend could act as confluence as well. So that's what I do every Monday. I go to different charts, mark out areas that I want to take trades in, set the alert, boom, hit that. But if I see it's coming close to something I want to scalp, or I see that, you know, where's a good example? Popcat had a really good one. For example, this here. Boom. I see that, hey, maybe I see this channel forming. That's like this, like that, like that. But let's say we only had on the 1 hour. Let's say we only had this much data. Only this much data. Right? I'm on the day. I mark that out on a low time frame. And I'm going to be like, hey, this looks pretty bullish. Maybe I can scalp that despite it not being on a high time frame macro, right? It's not on a high time frame macro because that would have been this. So we've identified support levels. Now we want to identify if we're up against any type of major resistance from top to bottom. So we know that this, if the market wasn't too bullish, I'm exiting here. If this scalp ends up rocketing, right? We don't know if it's going to, but I'm seeing, hey, it looks bullish. Maybe I can turn this scalp into something. That's looking bad. I'm not going to take that trade there. 2 hours still bad. Let's 4 still looking sketch, but keep going. We missed that move, but we can catch it again because we know that that's support. Oh, it's doing some of that. So there we go again. But now I can identify, I can short here. I can enter a short there. Short position, boom. Ride that down to the trend. Right? And again, that's my time frame. I'm trading the low time frame because in the big time frame, all the levels that I've identified, I've already set my levels and alerts for, you know, bigger and better trades. Everything else in between is just short term. And I have an account for that, right? I have an account for that. But if I see this, it's looking like this, I'll open it on my swing account and my DGen account. So remember how I have two. I can take it on both, but not really expecting too much of a swing because we don't have a major level yet. But that's why you open it on two, just in case it does, right? You're covering both bases. In case you're wrong, you're still making money on the other account, right? So we want to trade that channel. We're shorting that channel. What do we get? Retest. Do we add on here? What's a 30-minute telling us? We have bear divergence. That already printed and reset, but see that? Signs coming in. But we're on the 30. We got to look at the 2, see what the higher time frames are telling us if it wants to go up more. 4 hour. Divergence. We're getting our divergence prints. So this may peak up right there, and this is where I'll have my buffer strategy of, you know, I'm expecting it to go down. We're in a channel. It'll reject. But despite the daily looking bullish on the oscillator, I'm only holding this short to here because it wants to bounce. It's not going to help. Boom. Hit that trend. Right? So macro analysis every Monday. And then sometimes I'll see shit like that I can take, you know, scalps on. But I scan my charts, mark out the big levels, mark out if I want to take like a nice swing trade, and it could potentially also be a scalp that can grow into a swing trade. I can do that, but you have to mark your levels and have a routine. Like I do it on Mondays, Asia Open, well, technically Sunday night where I live, just to see what they do. And again, Spaceman BTC, it's not on here right now, but you know, it'll show you good levels. It also adds to your market analysis to know what to expect, right? So, what else can I fucking ramble on regarding macro analysis? But yeah, mark out your levels on higher time frames on all your charts, then zoom in to see, hey, I can maybe get a scalp here. You know, I can maybe have a short-term play there. See what this gives us. We bounced off the 786, which is good. I really like that. And with this we know already is going to break out. So macro analysis gives you a plan of your week or the trades that you want to do that you can have for each account. You can plan them on which ones you want to take, which accounts you're going to take them on, your exits, your entries. And again, with time frames, this will take practice. You can be realistic to know that this is bullish. We can reach there. But if the higher, let's say this was a 4 hour, and let's say the higher time frame was bearish, and this was showing bullish signs, we won't make it up here. You got to be realistic with the overall, right? What's the sentiment of what you see on Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, total 3. If those show it's bearish, realistically, this is a scalp about here. Oh, fuck, that's still big. You gotta zoom in for this. Okay, there you go. This is good. Realistically, expect it to only probably go here. Or here, maybe. Because this 618 VWAP, I'm sure, is around there. Anchored VWAP. Nope. That's giving us good support. This is too bullish. Yeah, this is too bullish. Not really a bad thing, but for example's sake, let's try from this top. It's a lot closer, but again, it doesn't always, sometimes they don't line up together. You don't get anything useful, and then it could still take off. But why are you going to risk that when you have higher chance with a system, with signs that'll tell you with higher probability it will go up or it will go down if you want to catch a short, right? You got to get used to that. You will miss trades, but with a system, you will catch more than you will miss. You're going to ignore the ones that you're unsure of. And if you do take it on an account that you're aware that it is a degen entry. It is risky. It's not high confidence. The confluence in there and the conviction isn't high, so have an account just for that. Don't use your big boy account for that. That's just gonna fucking blow up. But yeah, realistically, this was a bearish market. I would aim for just this, right? And that goes for macro analysis. Another really useful tool that I use, I'll put all the links to these, well, to this tool specifically. RSI, crypto RSI even. Whoa, we're getting overcooked here. So if everything is in overbought and you see, like, I've already showed you those 3 charts, both dominance charts and total 3. This is also starting to be confluent with those charts. We're starting to get overbought on the alts. BTC dominance, it's also in this chart. It's showing it's oversold, meaning it wants to, will go up eventually. And these overbought assets will go down. So all 4 of these things are telling you, caution. Bitcoin's at all-time high. Market cap of alts are really pressing up against a resistance. USDT dominance on support, BTC dominance on support. Why the fuck would you not start taking profits, right? But it'll go higher. It'll go higher. That's why you have separate accounts. It can go higher account that is very conservative in added, like you're scaling, and then the degen account that you're fucking taking 5%, 3%, 3% every small move, right? It satiates both parts, your conservative and aggressive side. So that's really that is all there is to how I analyze the market. It's simple, but it's fucking accurate. It's really, really fucking accurate in terms of when to take profits, when to start being degen, when to be cautious. I encourage you to really back test this to say, to get used to it, because this is how I start my week, and it tells me which coins I want to be buying. If I'm seeing that there's going to be a big reversal, those 3 charts are telling me, okay, dominance wants to drop, altcoin market caps on support. I'll look at this, see which ones I like that are in this area, chart them, set alerts, plan my entries, and the rest of the week I'm chilling, man. I'm not always fucking, what about this one? What about this one? What about that one? I spend maybe an hour or two beginning of the week marking things out on the macro, and then here and there, if I get, an alert, I'll check it out. But if I see an area on a macro, when I'm analyzing macro and I see something that I could possibly get a scalp in, then I'm going to take it. I'm going to zoom in that chart and mark it. But if it looks like shit all around, I'm not going to fuck with it. It doesn't excite me. There's too much risk in it, right? So I really encourage you to play around with this and try to identify on charts based on those 3. Look back on an altcoin chart and try to identify, this is where those charts were telling me to buy. Try and figure out, again, this is a paid indicator, but I'm showing you how well it fucking works. You could use the regular stochastic and the regular RSI, but it doesn't talk to you as well as this talks to me. This really fucking talks to me. So I encourage you to really, really, really get familiar with these charts and what I do at the beginning of the week. This will save you time from scrambling, what about that? You don't need to do that because you heard about it last week. You've marked your entries or interesting areas. Sometimes you won't hit them for 2 weeks, but you have alerts telling you, hey, at this level, I wanted to take the long here because the VWAP, the 618, the moving averages, all that shit tells me that this is a good level. And that's what I do every week. So sometimes I don't take a trade that I marked out 2 weeks ago until 3 weeks later when the price came down. And that's why on big dips, I'm not scrambling to look for anything. I've either set limit orders or I've marked charts on on coins that I want to get entries in on a pullback, right? I've already had that planned out. I have a fucking shit ton to pick from because I've marked them already. And I get to look at which ones are strong, which ones show me this on the daily or on the 4 hour at the least for a reversal scalp or a big swing trade. So that's that in a nutshell. Very important. This video is where you should start your week with before taking any trades. And then you will be taking the trades that you planned last week, right? You might even catch one that's in a good zone depending on the market sentiment. If it's a red day and then you do this, you can find a shit ton of good entries. But my point is, use those 3 charts with this to know when to get entries and to know when to sell. I closed an XRP trade because maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of hours early, but I locked in profits and I don't want to wait till the end, till that reversal happens, right? I want to see the signs and start scaling out bit by bit by bit by bit, right? Yeah. And that is that.